Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Reaction Channel. My name is Teddy90, and today we're going to be reacting to What Kind of Bear is Truly the Best by Tierzoo. Now, Tierzoo is an amazing channel. Everybody's watched them at some point or know who they are. They're awesome. I haven't watched them on this channel before, but I've watched them before. I don't think I've watched this video, but I might have. I can't remember. It's been a while. This came out in 2018. I don't remember what I do anymore. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying I'm not a biologist. I don't know anything about biology. My areas of study are, in order, psychology, sociology, philosophy, and history. Well, it's not really in order. History would probably be above psychology, and that doesn't matter. This isn't an area I understand. Pretty much anything outside of those four areas, or anything that touches on those four areas, I have about the general intelligence of a baboon. So, take what I say in this video for a grain of salt, because I don't really know what I'm saying. Granted, you should do that in every video I produce. But you should do that with everyone, actually. Always double check, always research on your own, all that other stuff. Everyone's an idiot. Everyone lies. Yeah, we're just gonna jump on into it. Yeah, I don't know. Go like, go subscribe, go everything else to Tierzoo. They deserve all the love and happiness, everything else like that. You can see a little teaser of what I'm gonna be doing next video, where the Marathas and everything else like that. I am not on an edible this time, so you can successfully not see me ramble on like in the previous video. Also, sorry for the week-ish long break. I sometimes just go through lazy, depressed binges that I just don't do anything. But, you know, the quarantine's weird, so we all just deal with it in our own ways. Okay, let's jump back.
This episode was brought to you by Skillshare.
Voodoo. Did he just hit himself in the nuts? Did he just hit himself in the nuts? He did hit himself in the nuts. Always funny, no matter what animal or situation that happens to be in. Always hilarious. Love a good nut shot. Now, another reason I'm doing this video is because I'm also a bear, if you understand that particular layman culture, but, yeah.
Question. What kind of bear is best?
Every so often, the metagame of Outside breaks into
Never really watched The Office. Too much cringe humor. I'm not super big on the cringe humor. Granted, my humor is cringe humor, so take that for what it's worth.
the mainstream for a bit. Famous examples include the Choose Two puzzle, or the horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses meme. But perhaps the most famous example is the simple question posed by Jim Halpert in Season 3, Episode 21 of The Office, where he asks what kind of bear is best. But before we answer that, let's take a step back and hear how Dwight responds.
There are basically two schools of thought.
He doesn't get to finish his sentence before he gets cut off, but he's right. There are two schools of thought, those being the generalist approach and the specialist approach. So which school of thought is better when trying to optimize a bear build? I think the best way to answer that is to outline each approach's most relevant members and rank each of them on a tier list. So without further ado, let's get into it. Perhaps one of the most famous examples of a specialist bear is the panda. I don't think many players would dispute that pandas are easily one of the worst builds in the current meta.
Yeah, they're adorable. They're bloody adorable. But goddamn it, are pandas useless. Like, if it wasn't for our continued attempt to make sure they don't go extinct, they'd have gone extinct.
What they will dispute is why. A lot of players
Pandas are an evolutionary
worst
instinct.
builds in the current
Okay, I
meta.
wouldn't go that far.
What they will
They were fine to humans destroy their habitat. That's also true. Humans destroy everything. But they aren't an evolutionary mistake. They had, again, from my very limited knowledge, they had a very, like, selective place in, like, the ecosystem. And once their habitat got destroyed, they lost it. Like, unlike the general builders who can survive generally in most situations, because they're, like, little... their little hierarchy, the ecology of the area got destroyed by humans, they lost their ability to be successful. And because they were so finely tuned in one specific area, they became useless. Even though they weren't an evolutionary mistake, they just had a lot of specialization, which led to then mistakes once their specialization got destroyed.
dispute is why. A lot of
Again, take that with a grain of salt.
players think that pandas
Is
are
it
garbage
hers?
because they have an extremely low respawn rate. But pandas actually give birth just as often as other bears. Yes, it's rare, but that hasn't stopped the higher tier bears. What's really holding these bears back is their absolute dependence on bamboo. Of all the specialized bears, pandas are by far the most over-specialized. The combination of stats and abilities they've got have made it so even if they decided to stop being strict herbivores and pursue a more generalist approach, they can't really do it without a massive respec. They've got the bite force comparable to lions and tigers, but with mobility and stealth as low as theirs, there's no way they'd ever be able to make use of it against another player. Pandas use most of their evolution points on their special ability Pseudo-Thumb, a bony-like appendage that allows them to better hold on to bamboo. The rest of their evolution points, I assume, were spent on their ridiculous palette swap. This is the only bear I could even consider being below average. We have to jump all the way up to C tier before we get to the next lowest bear. Next on the tier list we have the Sloth Bear and the Sun Bear. These bears use another specialist type build, this
Never heard of the sloth bear or the sun bear.
time focusing on insects. Now sloth bears and sun bears are miles ahead of
Oh, are they like anteater type things? Like, are they similar in the vein of anteaters?
the panda in viability. Insects, especially beehives, are a great source of XP, assuming you can tank the damage from the stings.
Oh, poor
Not only
puppy.
that, but unlike bamboo, insects are pretty much everywhere, so habitat loss due to a human builder player doesn't pose as big a problem to them as it does for pandas. What keeps them down is that although they're great at tearing into
That is ridiculously adorable.
well-fortified ant and bee bases, they're actually not very good at defending themselves. They have losing matchups against every other key player in their region, including pythons, leopards, dholes, and tigers. And for that, I have to place them in C tier. The highest ranking specialist type bear on our list is the polar bear. The polar bear is one of the biggest land predators in the entire game, but despite their ridiculously high power stat, they have pretty bad matchups against the other popular Arctic classes. I've actually done an entire video on the Arctic meta, which you can watch here, but the long and short of it is that their immense strength doesn't really come in handy that much, since their best strategy to score limbs on seals is to catch them off guard when they come up to recharge their stamina gauge. They don't have the mobility to chase seals down in the water, nor do they have the strength to defeat walruses on land. So in my opinion, there's far too much luck involved in the polar bear gameplay to rate them any higher than B tier.
They're also going rapidly extinct because of because humans and the global warming and everything else like that. Like their natural habitat is getting pushed. So there's a high chance that they're probably going to go extinct, which is unfortunate.
So that's all of the specialist bears, now we're on to the generalist bears.
Although they are terrifying, from what I understand. Polar bears are fucking terrifying.
Generalist builds, if done right, will
No,
pretty
no,
much
no.
always outclass their specialized counterparts, since they're much more prepared to cope with the rapid shifts of the meta. Like, for example, if human players need materials to build their forts, or if the ice starts to melt. In addition, these next builds differ from the others because they've got the bear's signature move, Hibernate. Hibernation is key to the success of the bear players, because it allows them to completely skip the time of year that they're least suited to. Now, this does incur some difficulty on the player, since if they fail to collect enough loot to get them through the winter, hibernation will actually drain their HP and possibly even lead to a game over. But if the bear's abilities are used correctly, this shouldn't be too big an issue. The first of the generalist bears on our list is the brown bear. Brown bears have one of the highest power stats in the game, with their sheer force being outclassed only by bull, cattle, and elephant builds.
Yeah, grizzlies are terrifying. I live just south of grizzly territory in British Columbia, and anytime you go up north, you always have to take like a big cat bear spray, everything else like that, because those motherfuckers are violent. And those motherfuckers tear you apart. They just will. They don't care. Like black bears, you can kind of scare away. I've had a couple black bears on the property, other things like that. They're fine enough to deal with. Grizzlies, they're gonna tear you apart
They've also got fairly high
just because.
mobility, although it can't quite match that of the wolves or elk that they share a server with. But both of these stats are put to good use because of the animal's high intelligence, one of the highest among solitary builds. This lets bears use their strength to successfully raid the treasure chests that human settlements control. Now, unlike its more specialized counterparts, it doesn't have the same venom resistances that would allow the sun bear and sloth bear to easily take out eusocial insect players, so it's certainly not invincible by any stretch. But it can make up for these inconsistencies by doing what it does best, griefing salmon mains. The salmon questline's final objective is to return to their spawn point, and unfortunately this exploit is pretty common knowledge among the bear subreddits and whatnot. Brown bears have almost as good a matchup against fish as ospreys do. It's really unfair, honestly. There are a few varieties of brown bear, of which the grizzly is actually the weakest, sitting at the high end of A tier. The strongest variety of brown bear, the Kodiak bear, can just barely sneak its way into S tier, along with the last bear on our list, the black bear.
I've never heard of the Kodiak bear before. I only know the grizzlies.
Black bears are true champions of adaptability. When the Anthropocene patch dropped, every other North American bear actually quit the server, including one of the Ice Age meta's top tiers, the cave bear. Cave bears and the Florida spectacled bear were both specialists that were unable to adapt to the new meta, but the black bear player base has flourished. This is thanks to having slightly scaled back versions of all the brown bear's abilities, plus extremely high arboreal mobility. This allows them to get access to valuable loot sources such as tree nuts, beehives, and birds' nests. So yeah, Jim is kinda right when he says the classic line,
False. Black bear.
skills are essential for any effective character, but instead of spending millions of years saving up the evolution points necessary to get them, you can unlock skills right now by using Skillshare. Skillshare is
I'll let the ad play. Great video, great video.
an online learning community with over 20,000 classes in design, business, technology, and more. Premium membership gives you unlimited access to high-quality courses on must-know topics, so you can improve your skills, unlock new opportunities, and do the work you love. My favorite course of theirs is their one on motion graphics, which is taught by Kurtz Kassat. Join the millions of students already learning on Skillshare today with the special offer that's just for my subscribers. You can try Skillshare for free for 2 months by using the link in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and if you've got an idea for a build that you'd like me to cover, please leave your suggestions in the comments below. And special thanks to my patrons on Patreon. If you'd like to see more from me, my Patreon and social media are in the description.
Great content. I learned some things there. Again, biology isn't my subject. I learned some things there. And it wasn't a 30-minute long ramble. Now, if you like Tier Zoo, go subscribe, go like, and do everything else like that. If that link still works, that Skillshare link still works, I might actually do that during the quarantine just to get, just because I'm bored and I have nothing else to do during my time in isolation. Yeah, if you liked my, this was a reaction, not a commentary, unlike some other videos. If you like my reaction, give me a like, give me a sub, everything else like that. Go join my Twitch. I stream on occasion. I try to stream more often now these days. Yeah, that's about it for me. Go join the Patreon. Everything else like that. Yeah, you know exactly what video I'm going to do next. Either I want to do it today, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I hope I can do it today. But anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Love, butts, and happiness, and everything else like that. And bye-bye. Oh, yeah, I don't know what I said. Oh, cat. I want to show off my cat. Oh, cat. Meow, meow, cat. That's what I wanted to say. Meow, meow, cat.